name is Reverend Maria Arvanitidis, and this is an audio-visual version of my book, The Sovereign Light, named after my ministry, The Sovereign Light. And this is a course in metaphysical spirituality. Welcome to Day 339, Lesson 296, and this is page 800 out of 850. Merge a few into one segment and make perhaps even as many as 3 episodes into one segment, so that it could be at the very least 30 minutes, because this one here is going to be under maybe even 8 minutes. And so as we gather and our thoughts into timelessness, what is this inner space that we find in the 0 point field of no space, rather? Because what is it, time and space? Once we yield all these things and go inward and we center, we find the peace. That stillness, that inner stillness, is exactly that peace that we are all looking for. And from there, we learn to be, and everything becomes aligned and synchronized and falls into place, moment by moment, in a momentum of harmony with everything. And it's like breathing in, and let's begin to do that, and out. And as we breathe in, we become aware of this Shiva Shakti, if you will. So this torque that with every breath in, and as above and as below, and we congregate in the heart space center, we combine and infuse this fluidity similar to the blending of inner and outer. And so with every breath out, see it rippling like this pebble that we throw into the surface of the water, and just rippling out into our field and creating a reality, this Maya matrix, that with all these waveforms that we're breathing in and out, we create by focusing and setting an intention. And let's do that. And so what is our next thought? So the moment we think of what is our next thought, we can practice to do that, and then we draw a blank, and we go into no space. And then we go into timelessness when we find that inner stillness. And these are the bridges from inner and outer worlds that we create. And so just breathe that in for a moment, as deep as you will allow to receive and accept. And then slowly find a way to release it without any gaps that would be holding your breath when you do, not to swallow in things, and just kind of slowly release it out in a smooth circular motion, like breathing in and out. And let's begin. Let's begin with today's affirmation. I truly appreciate the ability to be grateful in all that I have. And just breathe it. So what is it that we do? It's all in the spin. It's all in the spin. It's all in the clockwise, counterclockwise. So when we breathe in, and then we breathe out, I want to hear you say these words out loud with me. Sounds good. And 3, 2, I truly appreciate the ability to be grateful in all that I have. Open the space. See the space opening from this 0-point field when we do as unclutching, if you will, if we're in this vehicle, right? And it's a 0-point field. Let's create this space. Open up to receive. I truly appreciate, and then see it spiraling up in the spin. The ability to be grateful in all that I have. And so in the all that I have, that I've drawn in with this inner spinning, and then releasing it by appreciating into the outward spiral, and then with every breath receiving it back in. And what is it that we are grateful in the space of no space and no time? This timelessness, the spaceless. And then we draw the boundaries, if you will. We can do boundaries. And as we do that, we go into this grounding of the earth, root chakra. And we visualize the gratefulness, the gratitude, the attitude of gratitude. And then, if you will, we spiral it all the way into the solar plexus, from the sacred sacral section all the way up, as we appreciate right into the heart space center. That in between of the lower and higher heart. And then we go into another bridge, yet another bridge, into the higher mind state of consciousness. That's a third bridge. And so, what is it all about? Well, for starters, let's begin to appreciate, because it's in the appreciation that we go into the algorithms of the zeros and ones. It's in the creator, creating aspect of things. But we have to be grateful first. And then we see what we appreciate. And in this way, we make room for more, just by appreciating to the fullest what we have, increasing the value in a way that this cause and effect of the law of attraction, and then we move into a higher state, the law of one in creation. And so from that, we begin to collapse things back down into form from these waveforms. And we can actually visualize, but it's like this dream, the dream that we have, the inner inner awakening that implodes into creation. And simultaneously, it can exactly do the same as explode into dismantlement and collapsing and all these other things. So it is the Siva Shakti, the spins. It's all in the spins and how fast the spin or how slow the spin is going, and in such a way that it all is synchronized in a harmonious way. In that we must equally, as we do, breathe in and then breathe out. But we can't only be breathing in and not breathing out. The same concept with abundance. We can be receiving, but at the same time, we must also give. We can allow that flow to go right through us, where we try not to hold on too many things, because those are the samsaras that makes us suffer. The more we try to keep things longer lasting in the time, that linear time space reality, the more we suffer, the more we try to hold things against their will, even objects, and treat subjects as objects, and all this stuff that we create as clutter and blockages that we don't allow to let go of and be reanimated with every breath in and every breath out. Granted, it's something that it takes practice, because we're forever more in the experience of a new reality. Whereas when we try to hang on to the reality from before and build on that, that is where the suffering comes in, the enslavement comes in, and all these other things. So we must be cautious and conscious and aware of every engagement and how long we want to make things last. Because it's not about how much experience we have, it's how much we can experience. And granted, it's always going to feel like it's the beginning, we're starting something, but we can also, this starting and finish, there is no, that's a linear time perspective. And so let's begin this episode, and I welcome you to page 800. 800, just one page, and this point that we're going to be delving into and expanding further, number 14, on what is gratitude and appreciation. And with that said, let's begin. So, gratitude. What is gratitude and appreciation? Gratitude is an expansion of frequency from love that holds more room for appreciation to vibrate the self upward. Gratitude expands it outward, holding it this upward spiral, and as a platform from which to receive more with. Gratitude helped by keeping the self open to receive. And once it does, it will appreciate in gladness of receiving. To see the value and to value. When something can be valued with love, to care enough to maintain, it appreciates. To give thanks and recognition of having, or for a certain quality to possess, is the self then not grateful? And so this thing that is energetically spiraling and decreases into collapsing as a solid form, like Einstein would have mentioned before, and with this concept of what is form in the first place, to our five senses that we interpret in that limiting bandwidth to collapse things into form. And just breathe in and out. I truly appreciate the ability to be grateful in all that I have. And just breathe in and out. I truly appreciate the ability to be grateful in all that I have. And just breathe in and out. I truly appreciate the ability to be grateful in all that I have. And hold expanded awareness to explore it with appreciation. I truly appreciate the ability to be grateful in all that I have. Today, for everything that is experienced, practice this momentum within every moment to hold that space of gratitude and the self. Hold that space with gratitude and then appreciate all that will come in. The self can be polite to respect in the way of expressing appreciation and thus grateful for having the opportunity to see it and with such a perspective. When admiration can be given to possess with such quality, the self can sentimentally attach itself, and with this invested interest, it will appreciate. So the self can be grateful and not appreciate, or appreciate and not be grateful, because they are different slightly in frequency. The meaning and the feeling it produces from interpretation. So how the words can be made applicable has much to do with their meaning, and as much or very little to understand. To appreciate a service and be grateful for the product might be one example. The purpose for today is to feel the variation in appreciating and being grateful. So grateful is more like opening and being receiving to the space, and appreciation is something that we raise in value, that we obtain, and it spirals upward from within that space of gratitude that we open up. Again, that would be in the same area. Gratefulness would be the root chakra, that perhaps, maybe it might vary for you and something else, for us, for me, the collective, the individuated consciousness of awareness that is imprinted in us, our own unique, authentic, spiritual and energetic imprint that makes us who we are. And so how we interpret, how we see things, how we sense, filter through our 5 senses, that can take that energy, that frequency, and lower it into a solid form. As Einstein had mentioned before, EMC squared. And there's many other theories that Einstein came up with. And then, these things are like one moment, they might be very applicable, and then the next, not applicable at all, applicable. So, with that said, thank you so very much for joining me here today. And take a few deep breaths, and I will leave you with these words for today. I truly appreciate the ability to be grateful in all that I have. I truly appreciate to be grateful in all that I have. I truly appreciate to be grateful in all that I have.